Whenever I would play, people would come up to me and always ask, so when you grow up, you're going to be a violinist, right? You're going to be a superstar and whatever. And I was like, sure. That would always strike me somehow, how people were just taking what they see and just enjoying it without asking themselves maybe what is the price for something like that. When I was around 18, I think, I was just broke. And I thought, okay, how about I play on the street? And it was surprisingly, to me, one of the most amazing experiences ever. I started doing it, going to Stuttgart on the weekends. And the first time I went to the city center to play on the street, it felt so awkward just to be there on your own and put down your case, pick up the violin and start playing randomly. It was special. But in a matter of minutes, there was so many coins in my case and I thought, hey, this is something. The fear and the shame and everything, it went away really fast. And I started to do it really regularly. Before I did it, I thought that young people would possibly laugh or make fun or just pass by, ignoring it. And kind of the opposite was the case. So many young people were standing there and listening to it, being fascinated because some of them have never seen somebody play violin. It was very free and very honest, and yeah, I never had such an interaction with the audience before.
На ужин. Вот так вот. И все справилось. Вот я все показываю.
I grew up in the south of Germany, in Stuttgart, close to it. And I was born into a Ukrainian musician's family. I'm a first generation German. Ever since I was born, I was surrounded by music. My parents were both teaching and practicing music, and my mom would always teach from home when I was really little. I had my first violin when I was 1.5 years old. Quite quickly it was clear that having an outside teacher is probably for the better. And I came into a music school when I was 4. My teacher there was really supportive, and I started to do competitions and play with orchestra as a soloist. And I stayed there until I was 13, I think. And with 16, I started my bachelor's degree. And after I finished that, I went to Cologne to do my master's there. And then I arrived here in Frankfurt. And I do here the master's in contemporary music with the Ensemble Modern Akademie. So this is one of the rooms where we rehearse a lot and we can practice on our own or have coachings, workshops. Also in this building is the Junge Deutsche Philharmonie, the Young German Philharmonics. And 3 years ago there was an audition which I took to be a member there. From then on, when I became a member of Junge Deutsche Philharmonie, I would come here quite often because we would rehearse here also sometimes, or I would be a judge at the auditions for the other new musicians. And I would always pass those floors and I would always think, yeah, one day I will audition for Ensemble Modern Akademie.
Hier ist unsere Veronika Paleeva.
But it sounds like you did a lot at a very young age. Do you feel like that also was to an extent forced onto you, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. I remember as a child, I absolutely hated it. I didn't hate playing on stage necessarily, that I enjoyed, and I also liked being good at it, I guess. But all the practicing and all the pressure and all the need of being the best somehow and being ahead of everyone else, it was just not for me. I was not into it at all, actually.
Du kommst vom Ist und gehst zum I. Wie war das?
I feel like the competition vibes were really pushed on us as children. And even the teachers would always try to kind of push us against each other and always say like, oh, she did it so well and she learned it so fast.
Du übst zu viel Druck aus mit dem Buch.
I think that this competition behavior doesn't help at all and I really want to get rid of it, and I absolutely don't like it when I notice that people are still in this outdated mindset. It doesn't fit also in my view of society. I don't want to build upon the feeling that only one can survive. I was very depressed as a child and I felt like people would only treat me well because I played the violin well. And I felt like my whole worth was defined by my success. And that's why I would always having it in my head, what would happen if I wouldn't play? What would be if my life was completely different? Because I just couldn't get myself out of the low point for a really long time. There is a very memorable performance in my life, which took place when I was 17. Around this time, my dad passed away and things were moving in my head and I was just thinking, how do I make this my own? How can I enjoy my life? After all, I'm not living at home anymore. I'm going into adulthood. And there was a competition in that summer where I was playing a piece that I really liked, and suddenly I was able to hear myself in the music that I was playing. And it was very, very special to me. This feeling was very new. Ever since that sort of clicked in my head, I knew that actually this is really right, what I'm doing. And I have to find more moments like this for myself. Das antwortet uns keiner.
Also, ja, du machst die Dings wieder. Ja.
Ja.
Und ich mach ein bisschen Vegetables.
In the last few years, I was working in a restaurant here in Frankfurt. I started doing this kind of job when I was 16. It was very controversial because nobody wanted me to have a job, which is crazy to say, but everybody was like, but you have to practice, and what if you cut your finger or if something is too heavy? And I thought, but I need money, so let me do it. And I did it. I really enjoyed being around other people and having a job that is more hands-on and seemed more real in a way. Because a lot of the time I felt when I was practicing in my room, I thought, what the hell am I doing? This is crazy. And being in this different environment was really cool. There is a huge connection between the experience of good music and good food. It somehow has a similar feeling in the body. I feel like when things are just right, you know they're right, and you never want it to end. So for me, that's probably what I crave. I just like enjoying the moment and just having this moment of, wow, yeah, that's it. And somehow it's always surprising. You know what I mean? Sometimes whenever it clicks, you're always like, yeah. One of the projects that I'm working on at the moment is a collaboration with a sound designer and producer from Berlin. His name is Armin. And we are creating a piece together, which is around 30 minutes long. And it has an ambient trap vibe to it, and I improvise over that set. It was inspired by my experience of playing on the street. I really like that connection, and I like offering things for free initially, and I like people to experience my music without maybe even wanting to, just passing by accident and then having a positive surprise. In my experience as a musician, we have some opportunities here. And throughout COVID, I noticed how empty the city center would always be. And there's so much empty space, and artists are really struggling at the moment. So why not use the space and provide something interesting to people besides shopping? I feel like I can't do without having my sound, actually. I feel really connected with the sound that I produce. I really enjoy nourishing it and showing it. I started to reflect a lot on what music means to me. And I noticed that I can do so much more with my own music than people taught me. And luckily I got to know many other forms of music which are a lot more free and a lot more interesting to me. And I also noticed that I can be creative too, which I never thought that I was. That's how I think I found my own path, because I noticed what I want to do is actually different than what most people want to do. And somehow I found a way to make it my own. And that's why I love it, because it's not those negative things anymore. I'm really lucky that I'm happy with where I'm at this moment.